Airtable came out with incredible new updates to its automation layer just at the end of 2025. So if you are building intermediate to complex automations in Airtable here in 2026 or beyond, you are going to love this new feature and you are in the right place. So stick around and let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Gareth and this is Gap Consulting. It's our mission to help you unlock the full potential of Airtable and the related no-code tools so that you can build better systems within your business. In this video, as I said, we're going to be diving into these new automation features. But before we get started, I want to first invite you to get some free help with your next Airtable project. Whatever you're building, we offer complimentary strategy inquiries where you can sign up and meet with someone on our team to talk through the things that are blocking you and to come up with a path to move your project forward. So if you're ready to get unstuck with your next Airtable or no-code build, swing by our website using the link I'll provide wherever you found this video and sign up for your free strategy call. But without further ado, let's hop on into the heart of things. There are 3 key improvements to Airtable automations that just came out at the end of 2025, at the start of 2026. And I'm talking about improvements to repeating groups and conditional logic. Now, these are on the slightly more intermediate side of automation, as I said. So if you're an automation beginner, don't get stressed out about this. I'm going to try to take it step by step, but understand that this is kind of mid to high level expertise within the tool. So here on my screen, I am sharing the first of these, which is conditional logic within a repeating group. Now, conditional logic and repeating groups have both been available within Airtable automations for some time now. The trouble is that you couldn't do them at the same time within the same automation. You could not have a repeating group inside of conditional logic. You couldn't have conditional logic inside a repeating group. So there were many limitations, and frankly, it made Airtable automations only so useful. Previously, if you wanted this kind of functionality that I'm showcasing here, you had to go to number one, a third-party tool. So a lot of folks would use Make or Zapier, which of course adds a new bill to your tech stack and increases costs for you. The other thing they might do would be to create scripts. So Airtable has a scripting component if you're on the right paid tier. But the problem with scripts is that they're really hard to troubleshoot, and it really makes it difficult for other people on your team to update the automation if something goes wrong. So even with the help of ChatGPT or other script writing AI, there's still a bit of a black box. And so avoiding scripts whenever possible is generally recommended. The fact that we didn't have these features, repeating groups within conditional logic or conditional logic within repeating groups, basically meant that Airtable automations were great for the beginner, but when it got to intermediate and advanced use cases, they started to fall apart, but no longer. So here I'm going to walk through the first of 3 examples, the conditional logic within a repeating group. So for our example here, we have a very simple structure. We have clients, and these clients kind of live on their own. This is going to be part of another example. We have orders, and these orders link to line items, right? And a line item has a product type, a quantity, and a fulfillment status. And of course, it links to an order. So we're going to go back now into our automation and take this step by step, and I'll show you exactly what's happening for this automation that demos conditional logic within repeating group. So first and foremost, we have an order, and it gets moved to the status of processing. So once that happens, we're going to find all of the line items that are linked to that order. So we're going to get a list of all the line items connected to an order once the order moves to processing status. And then we're going to get to the conditional logic and repeating group. First of all, we build a repeating group. We're going to repeat these steps. Whatever's inside of here, we repeat for every record that we found in the find record step. So let's bring up 2 things simultaneously here. In a split screen, I will bring up our database, and we're talking about moving our order to processing, and then every single line item here, we're going to find all these line items. We're going to go through this step right here, and if the line item, if the thing we sold is a physical product, we're going to take one action. And if it's a digital product, we're going to take another action. So let's take an example, right? I'm going to flip into my line items here, and I've grouped these by order. And here you can see that this particular order, 1015, this one has 5 different line items. Some of them are digital, some of them are physical. So what we do to these line items when the order moves into this stage is going to be different depending on what type of line item it is. What is the thing we sold? Because the action we take through automation is going to be different based on the type. So if the product type on that list is physical, it's a physical product, then we're going to update that product and we're going to say, hey, the fulfillment status gets moved to send it to the warehouse. On the other hand, if the product type is digital, then we're going to update the status of the product to say, send the download email. So you can see how we would have different steps depending on what those items are within the order. When the order is ready to fulfill, then we're going to take different steps. And this is only possible now because we have conditional logic, these two components here, within a repeating group. A first for Airtable. Now, I do want to highlight that we can add additional conditions here, but we are unable to add more repeating groups or more conditional logic at this time. Now, of course, this might change in the future because Airtable is making constant improvements. But where things are right now, we get this repeating group, and then we're able to put conditional logic within that repeating group. So that's example 1. Now let me take you to another example, this one showcasing conditional logic within conditional logic. So we're going to start this one off with our clients table. Inside the clients table, when a client is moved to the active status, that will trigger the automation. And then we want to send a Slack message to our team. We just got this new client, they're active, but what does the message contain? The message is going to be different based on 2 variables. Number 1, what is the engagement type? Did this client buy service 1 or are they buying service 2? Maybe we have 2 key different offers. And the second component is, what is their payment structure, their payment type? Are they paying in full or are they on a payment plan? Because based on which of these is true, we're going to have a different Slack message. Ultimately, 4 different Slack messages. If it's service 1 and the payment type is paid in full, we send Slack message 1. If it's service 1, payment type is payment plan, we send Slack message 2, etc., etc. So here we have conditional logic within conditional logic. So we say, number 1, we build this condition, and then we can add additional conditions within this. Now, a couple of hangups here or limitations. I want to highlight that we can add more conditions, but I cannot add another layer of conditional logic. So 2 layers is what I get. And I also want to highlight that I cannot add any repeating groups inside of here. So it's like, if you think of conditional logic and repeating groups as those intermediate features, I can only use 2 of them within the same automation. So if it's conditional logic within conditional logic, I don't get repeating groups. Or if it's a repeating group inside conditional logic, like that's it. I just get the 2 per automation. This is still a huge step up from where we were before, but I want to call out the limitation as it stands today. Of course, that's always subject to change. Now let's take a look at our third and final automation, which is a repeating group within conditional logic. And in this case, we're looking at our orders table, and we're looking to see all of the line items that are linked to that order. And then we're going to say, okay, look, if there is a physical item, that is the physical item count is greater than 1, then we're going to go through this where we say, well, for each physical item on the list, we're going to update the record. Maybe we create a task because it's a physical item, we need to actually do shipping and fulfillment, and then we'll send the email for this order. But if there is no physical item, then we just can send the email. Hey, these are all digital products. We're good. We did our job. We fulfilled the order. So how do we do this? Well, this automation has the repeating group right here, repeating for every item in the list. So we've got that repeating group inside of the conditional logic. So that's our third example. The third way that you might slice and dice this. Conditional logic within a repeating group within conditional logic, or conditional logic within conditional logic. It's a lot of conditions and a lot of repeating, but at the end of the day, it gives you better automations natively in Airtable that don't require scripts and don't require you to go to a third-party tool. I hope you got a ton of value out of this video and start implementing what you learned in your Airtable automations. But if you need some help, like I said at the top of the video, swing by and schedule that strategy call and talk to someone from our team to get unstuck. In the meantime, if you enjoyed the content, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us in these videos. And of course, most importantly, keep on building.